Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to OccultcatTv. I'm your host, O'Shea. As well, you can call me Atanu or Cool Cat. Atanu, my magical name. Cool Cat, just a fun nickname. So let's get into today's video. It's going to be about self-mastery, evolution, and growth. What's this video going to teach you? In a sense, this video is going to teach you how to evolve and become your greatest version, how to embrace self-mastery, what self-mastery is. What is self-mastery, right? So, self-mastery is in a sense the tool or the vehicle that we use to embrace our evolution, to embrace our ascension, right? Going from point A to point B. We might be the person that we are right now, but that doesn't mean that we're going to stay the same. It doesn't mean that we're always going to stay the same, right? So it's about taking this lead and transmuting it into gold, right? That's what it is to evolve, and that's what it is to embrace self-mastery. We do this through our mind, right? Through our minds, we evolve and we become our greatest version. So if you're someone that maybe you're not disciplined, maybe you're lazy, maybe you don't have a good work ethic or a good mindset, this is a video for you, but as well, anybody that's on that path of already evolving and embracing self-mastery, this is most definitely for you, right? This is a video for beginners, intermediate, advanced. So, as you're choosing to evolve along the path and along your journey, right? I'm someone that the way in which I evolved was through many different things, and that's pretty much what I'm going to convey in this video. So if we're going to get to the core of it, I didn't start to fully evolve until I started to invoke deities, right? Invoke. Whether it be, and if you're new to magic, invocation is where you are bringing a spirit, an essence, or an energy into your physical, into your physis, into your body, form of energy, and then that energy is empowering you in some way for you to achieve a certain outcome, or as well maybe bring that into your own source so that you can empower yourself, right? So say if I'm going for a run, I can invoke the energies of Mars, or I can, like the planet, right? Or I can invoke the energy of Ares, god of war. I can invoke Ares, right? And then Ares is going to give me that fiery, passionate energy to then want to work out, say if I didn't want to work out, right? So it's in these ways where I don't know that many people like that I talk to in my daily life that think like this, that think about these things. I know there's a lot of people that already invoke and things of that matter, but I think that invocation is the secret. Invocation is the secret to your evolution and becoming your greatest version, to mastering yourself. And in a very similar way, a few beings that I've worked with to master myself is Lucifer, Satan, Belial, Azazel, King Paimon, Hecate, right? As well different beings of the Goetia. And invoking all these different energies will give you different results. So if I'm going to say Belial and I'm choosing to invoke Belial, then he will teach me to be more grounded and about the earth. As well, he's a very enlightening being at the same time. But his ways are going to be more grounded and more focused on the earth, whereas Satan is going to be more of... Actually, let's go with Lucifer. Lucifer is more of an evolution and ascension type of being. They all teach ascension at the end of the day. But this is where they're different in their many different ways based off their own persona, right? And then, so on top of that, we also have Satan, which you can look at as a mixture. Belial is is a more darker being in nature, and then Lucifer is a lighter, not that he's, any different, but lighter. And then I would even say that Satan is like a merge of both of them, right? Satan is someone that focuses on ascension, but then also grounds it and brings it back down into reality. And that's also the difference between Satan and Lucifer. go check out my video on Satan. That should be up already. I believe it's called A Conversation with the Devil, or just Satan. So as we start to invoke these energies and bring them into ourselves, we actually start to get more intelligent. Look at the painting behind me. That's actually that's King Paimon. So King Paimon was one of the first spirits that I worked with out of the Goetia specifically, or you could say the infernal realms. And he, amazing at mindset, at removing and clearing blockages within your mind that might have been limiting you, any lack, doubt, disbelief, right? Any ego that was imbalanced. He can help you to balance your ego. He can help you to balance your mind and your mindset and help you to become your greatest version as well. So as I was invoking King Paimon, this was actually back when I believe I just left school. I was a psych major, and King Paimon, as I started to understand, is a god of psychology. He's a god of psychology, philosophy. He can teach you the arts and sciences and things of this nature. So as I started to delve more and more into psychology, right? Because for myself, I left school because, I asked the teacher, like, what, I was like, well, what about the soul, right? Because the word psychology means psycheology, soul study, right? And then he's just like, what do you mean soul? And they were never talking anything about it in school, so I realized, wow, this is fucking useless. This is bullshit. Because if you're looking at the mind, but you're not choosing to actually understand that there's more aspects to the mind than just the mind, right? Like the soul, as well as just the soul and the connection to it. Because if you're just looking at things as finite, just as the brain, as the mind, then you're not getting the full picture of things. You're not enlightening yourself, right? So you have to look at the big picture of things and then, go down from there. So King Paimon taught me how to understand my mind, how to understand my psychology, right? Whereas also in a very similar way but different, Belial taught me my physiology. So as King Paimon was teaching me my psychology and helping me to better understand my mind, this is when I started to master myself. Because understanding your mind is a part of self-mastery, right? If you wish to master yourself, you have to think about, the foundation, mind, body, soul, right? So as you're working on your soul, as you're liberating your soul, you're meditating, you're being disciplined, you're, eating healthy, you're sun gazing, you're exercising, right? These things which also benefit the body. But when you start to embrace source, these things of source, that's what's feeding your soul, and then your soul is what's empowering you. The more soul essence, the more soul energy, soul pressure, you could even say, you have flowing through you. This also will then also raise the Kundalini and empower the Kundalini, right? Kundalini being, you could say, it's the serpent energy within us, but it's also the psychic energy that flows through us and our meridians that also cleanses the vessel, which that's also another aspect of self-mastery that I'll go into in just a moment. So the more you have your soul flowing through you, this, again, as above, so below. So the more that you've awakened within yourself, the more that you know thyself, you know your truths, this is going to start feeding into your ascension. It's going to start to feed it, and then your ascension feeds your self-mastery. Or ascension feeds growth, and growth feeds self-mastery. So we should always look at it. We should always look at self-mastery from the big picture, and then from the big picture we can zoom in on the individual parts in which we need to focus on in order to achieve and become that version of ourselves that we wish to become. You already are a master. You've already mastered yourself. What you are now doing is walking into that self, right? And I want to use manifestation, talk a little bit about manifestation to describe what I mean. So, Neville Goddard, a pretty famous or known manifestation coach, would talk about the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? The feeling. The feeling is the secret. The feeling is the key, right? So it's in the feeling. So he also talked about living at the end in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? So live at the end in the feeling. Okay, so I wish to master myself. Live at the end in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. See that you're mastered reality, right? Because if you've mastered yourself, then you've also mastered the physicality around you, right? By knowing the vision of what you desire to achieve all around you, you will get what you are seeking. So by seeing the fully mastered, okay, so now we're going into imagination, right? So imagine, go little astral project into the future, go into that self, into that being, live in that moment right now. Live in that moment for at least a few moments and see the surroundings around you, see the people around you, see what you do for a living. Something that I'm embracing is UFC or MMA into UFC, right? So I can go into the future and see, say, myself winning a championship, right? Being a UFC champion or winning my fights, right? And then by me seeing that, I'm now bringing it into reality based off my focus on it, right? The more that I can focus on that reality, I actually start to bring it into I start to shift into it and then bring it into this narrative. The more that I bring it into this narrative, this is actually what determines the result, right? This is actually what determines it being solidified into physicality. This is what it determines being solidified into reality. So the more that you can envision and imagine, but most importantly, feel that self, right? So we're in that feeling. We see that self. We already are that self. Now, see your surrounding. What's around you? And now on top of that, talk to your future self. Talk to that self that has already mastered themselves, that has already achieved everything that they desire, right? And as we focus on that self, as we talk to that self will now give you insight, info, gnosis, right? As it gives you gnosis, right? As you talk to it, it talks to you. Then now become it. See from the eyes of your future self, which I actually have a video I've uploaded to Patreon called Seeing from the Eyes of Your Future Self. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon, that video is going to be over there. So, where I go more in depth on this topic. So now, you've became your future self. You are now in the now. You've come back to the now with the feeling of that wish fulfilled, right? So already, you are the master. The master has already been done. You did the exercises, you did the workouts, you did the meditation, you did the routines. You did everything you needed to achieve your greatest potential, to achieve your ascension and your self-mastery, right? So as you've done everything that you needed to achieve that, now you're back here and you have the vibration of that mastered self. So you have the gnosis, you have the knowing, you understand who you are, you know thyself. Now it would be time to put in the work, right? So maybe that self was 5 years from now or 2 years from now, maybe it was 5 years, maybe it was 10 years, right? You can get to it faster by doing the work now, because that self that you already imagined didn't have the gnosis of talking to the future self till we just did that, right? So the more that you talk to your future self, the more that you do the work, you become your future self. You become that mastered self. So it's truly by embracing imagination, visualization, focus, discipline, feeling, right? These are all ways that we can master ourselves. Imagination is the formless, you could say, ether that shapes reality. In the same way, imagination is the dream realm. So we actually just dreamed right now. Yep, you dreamed while awake. I do it all the time. Did you guys have fun? So, but by dreaming while awake, we're now impressing into our subconscious mind that which we desire. So if we can dissolve our ego, which I actually just made a video on this called ego, understanding the ego. If we can dissolve our ego, then, well, first off, the ego is the gatekeeper, and I go more in depth on that video. The ego is the gatekeeper. So if we have a dissolved ego, if we already, we're not too attached to who we are, and our ego is like, no, I am this. How could I be that? I'm not that. Then you can bypass the gatekeeper and then inject that vision, that imagination, that visualization, that feeling into your subconscious mind, where now your subconscious mind is a quantum computer. So it has no other choice but to accept what it's being told, what it's being programmed or commanded with. You must command your reality. You must dictate your reality and who you're meant to be. It's only in that way that you can understand who you are, because you can't take life for what it gives you. You can't just accept the narrative that you've been given. Oh, I'm a brokey. Oh, I'm a college dropout. Or I left. But right, like these are all things that people will say. It's like, oh, you don't have a degree. Oh, this. Oh, that. People just say things. It truly doesn't matter. What matters is that, are you focusing on yourself? Are you embracing your growth, your mastery, your evolution? Because if you're focusing on yourself, if you're focusing on your evolution, all of those other things are going to fade away. I don't care about what people think of me or what people say, because it doesn't matter. Because as long as I'm doing the work, I will achieve what I desire. Someone could say, oh, Shay, you're not a master, you're not enlightened, you're not this, you're not that, but I'm doing the work. Are you doing the work? Right? Because that's what matters, is that you're trying to achieve that version of yourself. And most importantly, you are that self. By knowing you are that self, you are already that self in the physical. I know I am my mastered self right now and in this moment through my highest source, right? So these are all ways in which you can master yourself, by using your imagination, by using the visualization. That's a good foundation, because that's also what's needed in a lot of spiritual work. And then you can also apply that into manifestation. And then with manifestation, you can then bring that into your life. And once you've mastered manifestation, you've also mastered reality creation. You've mastered the life in which you desire, because you're starting to bring it to fruition, all first based off the soul, embracing your soul, knowing who you are, then expanding your mind, dissolving your ego, and then embracing the physical body and, exercising, eating healthy, sun gazing, things that, semen retention, things that grow you, that grow your energy, that grow your power, right? Because the more power that you possess, the more that you're going to be able to evolve and embrace your ascension. And on top of that, also a good daily routine, a good foundation is most necessary. I'll be making a video on, daily routines and foundation a little bit later. So, last thing, we evolve through what we create. What you create evolves you, right? So just like me making this video, some might be like, oh, it only got this amount of views or this and that. I don't fucking care about views. I don't fucking care about likes. I don't care about subscribes. I make my videos, I make my channel so that I can evolve myself, and that anybody that is receptive to this message also, gets the message. They also choose to evolve and become their greatest version. Because think about how many people are on YouTube that really just tell you frivolous fucking bullshit. They just tell you frivolous shit that doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't evolve you. It doesn't grow you. Everyone's different, right? Some people are entertainers, comedians, right? I'm a comedian in my own sense. But a lot of people just want to drain you. They just want to take your attention to feed their agenda or whatever the fuck it is. But it's like, yes, I have an agenda. My agenda is to teach. I want to make a video on self-mastery so that you guys can master yourselves, so that you guys can evolve and become your greatest version, right? Just have discernment with, who you're listening to. Because if you're filling your head with fucking bullshit and lies, then it's not going to, then you're programming your mind with just fucking garbage, with bullshit, right? But if you're listening to things that empower you, make you feel good, help you to ascend and evolve, then you will think about it. Think about listening to a video that's mindless every day. You're just getting more mindless. You're just getting more drone-like. But when you listen to things that awaken you, that animate you, imagine that. Imagine the more you listen to things that empower you, you're going to be at your greatest in pretty much no time. Right? And that's why I'm here. Help you guys to become your greatest version. So remember, you evolve through what you create, whether it be, music, whether it be art, whether it be painting, whether it be some form of skill, martial arts, lectures, using your voice, blogging, writing, whatever it might be. Use what you're good at, use what you love as a vehicle of ascension for you to become your greatest version, and then as well, master yourself. A way in which I did this for myself is I've been rapping for 10 years, and then I transitioned rapping into, being able to public speak and talk. So that's how I evolved myself through communication, in a sense, through using my words, my speech, as well, being good at writing. Words are spells. So I started to write powerful affirmations and scripts to then inject into my subconscious mind, right? I say these affirmations every day. And then from that, I become my greatest version more and more. Yeah, back when in the beginning, affirmations were, I was like, why am I even doing this? What's the point? But then over time I started, because of compound effect, I started to realize, oh, this makes so much sense. I'm reprogramming my mind so that I'm getting smarter over time. I'm becoming more wealthy over time. I'm becoming my greatest version over time. And that's what it is. It's not one and done. It's not one ritual and done. It's not just one meditation and you're enlightened, right? It's compound effect. It's over time you will become your greatest version. And as long as you feed that version and you keep feeding that version and downloading them into your being, this is how, through the compound effect, having discipline and then, a good routine, doing it every day, eventually you're just going to become that version, and it just makes sense. It's like, how do you get a six-pack, right? Someone might be like, I want a six-pack. It's like, well, we'll do the push-ups every fucking day for 6 months and you'll get a six-pack, right? Or not just do push-ups, but go to the gym, right? So I don't want to go to the gym. Then you don't want a fucking six-pack. You don't want a six-pack, right? So it's the same thing. It's like, oh, I want to be enlightened. It's like, what do I got to do? It's like, okay, you got to meditate every day and just make it a part of your day. Oh, I can't even meditate. It's like, well, then you're not going to be fucking enlightened. You have to do the work. If you do the work, you will achieve what you're meant to achieve. You'll achieve your goals. Right? Set goals for yourself. See the big picture, right? Set goals for yourself, and then all it is just routine. It's just having a routine, right? Routine and goal setting is the most important thing that you can do to evolve. And I'm gonna say this right now. What is your goals? Have goals for yourself. And if you guys have a goal, leave it down below, right? I better see you guys focusing on your goals, focusing on the vision, become your greatest version. And with that, you guys have a beautiful day. This was self-mastery, ascension, and evolution. You guys got this. Peace. I'm out. This was I'm your host, O'Shea. As well, you can call me Atanu, and this is OccultcatTv. Peace. I'm out.